If you've never engaged in fasting before, I came across a very helpful article which gives just 6 very practical tips on how to get started on this journey of fasting. Remember that Jesus assumes that we are already fasting, and in fact, he speaks about the bridegroom in Matthew 9, I think it is, where the bridegroom, while the people are with the bridegroom, there's no need for that. But soon the bridegroom will be gone, and then we will fast. And so these are the days when we will be fasting. And so I would encourage you to just take in these 6 little tips and perhaps see how the Holy Spirit leads you to incorporate fasting as a regular practice in your life. This was written by a teacher and author, David Mathis, and I just found it really, really practical, and I hope that you will too. So first of all, start small. He encourages maybe skipping one meal, always drinking water, whatever fast that you're doing. Remember, there's 2 kinds of fasts. There's a partial fast, as we see in Daniel, where he gave up the choice foods that the king was offering and only ate fruits and vegetables. And then there is an absolute fast. And we can see that actually in the book of Esther, where she called the Jewish people to fast as she sought God's guidance for going to meet with the king and to explain what Haman was doing. But I would recommend, and so does David, that water is always part of your daily intake. He also talks about perhaps just being on a juice fast, because in that way you're getting some nutrients and sugars, which might be a small way to start. Secondly, he says, if you have any health concerns, firstly speak to your doctor, of course. You can't just start a 40-day fast without first checking that your body is able to handle that. So that's why I encourages starting small. Secondly, plan what you are going to do instead of eating. So of course, the intention of fasting is to bring into sharper focus your relationship with God and your connection to Him. We want to be hungry for God. And so when we feel that hunger, it drives us to God to realize our absolute and our complete dependence upon Him. So plan what you're going to do. If you're going to skip lunch, how are you going to fill your lunch hour to meet that need of coming to God hungry for Him and for His filling up? Maybe it's to read the Bible more than you are. Maybe it's to do a little devotional. Maybe it's to spend time in prayer. But whatever you do, decide it beforehand. It's no point fasting from a meal and then you're, playing a game on your phone or, having a chat with someone you haven't spoken to in a long time. And while all those things have their place, specifically fasting is there to bring into sharper focus, as I said, your relationship with God. Secondly, consider how your fasting will affect others. So maybe you're not going to boast about fasting, you're not going to shout it through the bullhorn like I said, but maybe just consider if you are the one who prepares meals and you're not eating, how is that going to affect those around you? Remember I said that fasting is no excuse to be unloving, and so just consider those around you and how your fasting might affect them. Number 4, try different kinds of fasting. And you can look up online lots of different ways to fast. But I would encourage, as his first point said, just start small. Maybe just pick one meal of the day and maybe just do it for one day. Build up slowly to maybe you skip every second day, or maybe go for a week as your endurance and your strength builds up. Number 5, fast from something other than food. Really, fasting means anything that is going to distract you from God and anything that you can use additional time to meet with God more deeply. And so maybe it is that TV show that you really like, or maybe it is your social media hour that you just endlessly scroll. Can you fast from that and use that time to deepen your relationship with the Lord? And finally, number 6, and this is my favorite one, he uses the title, Don't Think of a White Elephant. And although you may be fasting and although you may be hungry indeed and you can feel your tummy growling, it's a real thing. It's not just a spiritual idea to fast. Your body will physically feel the effects of fasting. But but don't dwell on the fact that you're hungry. As I said, use that time as a means to dig deeper. How do I really hunger and thirst for God? Fasting is a very helpful and powerful tool, not only for connecting us more with God, but also to discern His will for our lives, for our communities, for His kingdom here on earth. So may you be blessed as you consider how you can bring fasting to be a regular, common practice in your life. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and I will see you again next time. God bless.